Welcome to the HC Leadership Podcast, Forged in Fire, Led with Purpose, formerly known as the Heat of Command. We're here to explore what it takes to lead courageously authentic. From the fireground, battlefield, ballfield, classroom, or boardroom, we bring you real conversations to inspire, challenge, and drive change. Here are your hosts, Kyle Matusik and me, Carrie Henderson. Hey, y'all, and welcome back. Another episode today, and we're super excited. We have some attendees now to speak with us on the HC Leadership Podcast. All you TEEX Leadership Symposium listeners, thank you for tuning in and checking us out. Today, we've had a full day speaking and interviewing speakers, and now we want to chat with some attendees to see how their day went. So we are wrapping up a full day, and they just got out of breakout sessions and probably ready to go mingle and get some dinner, but we're going to pick their brains and see how it went today. So we have Jack Bode and Parker Forrest, and they're from Wise County ESD1. And I'm going to let them just introduce themselves just a little bit, and we'll see how their day went. So,
hi, I'm Jack Bode. I've been a firefighter for about 18 months. Still a student, will always be a student. Come into work with a closed mouth and open ears.
I'm Parker Forrest. I'm 22 years old. I've been in the fire service for about 2 years and some change. Recently just got promoted to driver engineer, so kind of getting the bearings on all that.
Awesome. So what I think is really cool about this conference, and we've been around to some other conferences, and especially in Virginia where I'm from, a lot of these conferences, it's usually, especially leadership conferences, it's people that are already in a leadership position, a formal one. So it's company officers, captains, chiefs, and we don't see a lot of firefighters coming, but it's amazing to see firefighters coming to leadership conferences because Kyle and I are firm believers that it starts now. You can't wait till you get promoted and then decide, what kind of leader do I want to be? And how am I going to show up and present myself if you haven't been working on it beforehand? So kudos to you guys for coming to stuff like this and starting to hear it. And because there's 1,000 ways to do this and you got to find out what works for you. So this is awesome.
Yeah, 100%. I think I speak for Jack as well as myself, as it's been a really eye-opening experience. Hearing a lot of the good speakers they've had. And we've only been here for a day, so we've only gone through about 4 sessions, and we got a few more tomorrow. But it's good knowledge to learn and take back to the station to help improve not only ourselves, but the other members that are joining below us, and even bringing stuff back to the guys that are on shift today. We've had to get some coverage to be here for a few days, and so we appreciate them helping us out. So it'll be really nice bringing it back to them so everybody can learn at the end of the day.
Is this your guys' first time at TEEX, or have you been here before?
This is our first time.
Yeah, and why'd you decide to come, or what was the big... Have you heard about it before, and then why have you decided to come this
I've
year?
heard talking about it,
Yeah.
but I'm a firm believer in that anybody can be a leader. Of course, your front seers, your driver, and your company officer / lieutenant will be leaders. Personally, for me, I think one of the largest leadership roles is leading from the back seat. At our department, we get a lot of new hires with little experience or a lot of experience, sometimes none. So being able to be a leader back there and show them the ropes is very important.
Yeah, I agree. We heard about it actually through our chief. Our chief brought the conference up to one of our company officers, and we technically weren't invited. We kind of just heard about it, and we were like, are we able to join that? We'd like to get some extra training, because we feel like, I think recently for us too, we've trying to figure out how to expand our knowledge beyond just outside training, as well as getting the mental aspect of it. So this was something that was kind of put on the table for us, and we were like, I think we can swing out there for a few days and at least be there for the first or second, and then maybe have to leave the next day to get back on shift.
Yeah.
But definitely was really cool to be out here for that and get the opportunity to be here. So very thankful.
Oh, cool. As far as your department goes, is it a very young department, or is it kind of diverse in age? Or like a lot of departments nationwide are getting younger and younger and younger. So
I think our station average is 23, 24.
Yeah, we have about 20-ish people in there, mid-20s or so.
Wow. So that is a young department. So there's a lot of opportunity to shift a culture if need be, and change things, and and starting from the bottom and learning some of the things that you can learn here and applying them when you come back. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, originally when I started, and as well as him, we started strictly as just volunteers.
Yeah.
just trying to get our foot in the door to expand our knowledge and grow. We were off the street. I didn't know a single thing about firefighting, the same as Jack over here. And we were brought in and welcomed with open arms, and we kind of just felt like at home with this department. And it was really good getting the training from both of our chiefs, as well as some of the veteran guys that have been there for 5 to 6 years or so. And from there, we've transitioned into a combination department between paid guys and still volunteers, and still bringing in those people that want to get into the fire service and kind of have some place to start. So it was really nice being able to get all that presented to us.
Mm.
Yeah. So takeaways from today. What any big nuggets or gems that you picked up today?
Yeah, there's been a lot. A lot of things that have stood out to me is there's not just a leader in the whole, there's the entire team, right? So just because there's the head honcho of the entire thing, you got your company officer, a lot of the firefighters as well as the driver can also be leaders as well. Because as well as the company officer has to lead the entire group as a whole, you have a lot of other subdivisions that have to do different things. A company officer has a lot on their plate. So the engineers might have to do some extra training with some of the guys, or take some of those new probationary, members under their wing, and maybe do an extra hose pull, or just talk to them and kind of pick their brain and see what they think. That was what the biggest takeaway for me was from today.
Yeah.
For me, I think it was there's two types of leaders. There's a doer and there's a talker. But I think the perfect leader would be somewhere in between. Somebody that does all the correct things, shows all the right ways, and then also speaks about it in a positive mindset and keeps that positive morale throughout the station.
Yeah, so not almost that you say one thing and do another, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, and and that's not just in our industry; that's everywhere, right? That's in life, And a lot of times when we look at leadership and stuff, it's how do we become better at our careers and our chosen professions? But it's so much more than that too. It's like, how do I become a better person, a better human being? If you one day want to start a family and have kids and all that, like all this stuff applies to every aspect of your life. And that's why it's such a dynamic and a very individual process when we look at the word leadership and what it really means.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree. Yeah, be a good human being, right? And
Yeah.
it works
Yeah.
across everything.
Yeah, it's like that's where it starts, and,
Mhm.
and where do we build that? And it's coming to stuff like this and challenging yourself outside of the norm. So let me ask you and put you on the spot a little bit. What is the biggest challenge maybe you face individually in terms of leadership? I don't know if I want to use the word weakness, but we all have things that we're good at. We all have things that we're bad at. And I think one of the biggest important things for effective leaders, especially as young as you are, is to really have that, like, be able to look at myself, like, where do I struggle? And early on in my career, I struggled a lot, and times were a lot different than they are now. In terms of what those roles meant, and, with respect and things of that nature, and how I could have taught better and been a better instructor for certain people, and you learn these things. And now my goal is to make sure young people don't make the same mistakes I did, So, any challenges that you foresee, not necessarily in your organization, but for you maybe as an individual?
I've been taken aside about this a couple of times,
Yeah.
especially by this guy right here.
It's good to have that person to pull you aside, though,
Someone's got
It's-
to hold them accountable
Yeah.
every now and then.
I'm a very emotional leader.
Yeah.
And I need to work on that. Sometimes my emotions will get the best of me. I won't uh, put things out there correctly.
I got you.
My emotions will carry me a little
Yeah.
further than it needs to be taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think kind of piggybacking off that, I think all of the senior members we have at our department are great leaders in their own way. For me personally, I think recently I've had struggles trying to initiate things to do between me as well as other new members. Recently, especially, we've been working a few extra shifts because we don't have a lot of members. So
Yeah.
sometimes we'll be pulling 72-hour shifts, and that day 3 comes around, and
Yeah.
like, man, like I am so tired, and I just want to sit on the couch and do nothing. But the reality is we're having new people come in that day that need to get training, and if I'm not initiating it, or at least trying to help out in my own way, then they might be lacking, and then that in turn I'm failing them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and it too, though, it's sometimes teaching them balance, that, hey, like, it's okay sometimes to say, I got to take a break. And, and if they see you, like, you're a hard pusher all the time, and they're like, hey, this guy is saying it's okay to take a break when I need to, as long as I'm working hard, the other times it's okay when I've been here 72 hours and I'm exhausted and I need to do something to fill my cup too, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, we're trying to build people we want on our engines, and when we're exhausted, it's hard to show what we want.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But keeping each other accountable is great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pretty amazing in those answers, right? Like, I think, oh man, times have changed a little bit in a good way.
That's
It's just very interesting. If I was that young and somebody had asked me that question 20 years ago, I
Hmm.
probably would not have answered it that way, right? I mean, it was just the way the world, the way I was brought up and taught and everything. It really wasn't about looking at me and weaknesses, essentially. It's like, just go do. You have to do this. And from the military to the fire service, it was just go do and perform, and just grind, 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 and go, go, go.
Hmm.
And then we want to pass that on. That was kind of essentially what leadership was. And it wasn't really like, hey, where do I need to work as a leader? And as we move up the ranks, that constantly is going to change and reevaluate. And yeah, I might have been good as a firefighter in these roles or these characteristics, but now as I move up, do they become weaknesses? Are they other strengths? And now do I have new weaknesses and new strengths? And it's just leadership is constant. It's fluid, it's dynamic, and it's ever changing.
Yeah, I 100% agree. But I also think that our chiefs have done such an amazing job. Shout out Chief Paradise and Chief Hazelden. They've done so good with helping the younger members mature since we've started. I started at 18, 19 years old, and now I'm 22, and I feel like my maturity has grown immensely in just those 3 years because of the help that I've received, not only from them, but also some of the guys that might not be there now, but were there when I started.
That's awesome to hear. It's so refreshing to hear when people, are being empowered by their leadership and it sounds like you enjoy coming to work, which is
We
so
do.
important. Like you signed up for this job for a reason. It's something inside of you that calls you to this and then to get there and work in a place where you feel supported and, all of those things. That's the ticket.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of people struggle to find their why. We went over this in our breakout sessions, and when me and Parker looked to our leadership, uh, we found our why pretty quick because that constant positive feedback from our leadership.
Yeah, I definitely agree. The why is a big part of what we do. It's not strictly just I came to be a firefighter because I wanted to. You have to figure out why you actually want to be here. Um, and back to that breakout session, they kind of had us take a step back and realize, why do you want to be here? Um, and once you really figure that out, your paths could change. But that's when everything becomes so much more clear. You get that clarity to figure out, why do I actually want to be here? And is this really what I want to do? And then from there, it just makes your job so much more enjoyable at that point.
Yeah, definitely.
So, it's short term kind of career goals for you guys, like within the next year. Like, what are some of those goals for you? I mean, coming here, I think is an awesome step, and just what you can learn and take away. And it's not just what you take away in this weekend; it's the network you build as
Hmm.
well, right? Like that is incredible. It is always incredible.
Yeah, we work with a lot of good departments around us. Just south of us is Parker County. They're a pretty big department in Texas. They're super, super nice guys to us and very helpful in terms of giving us good things to think about and different tactics. And maybe we should try this or we should try this. And even just on scene, being a helping hand whenever we need, and vice versa. We'll go to them whenever they need to. Um, it definitely helps out a lot. Short term goal for me, since I just am now transitioning from firefighter to engineer driver, I do need to go through DO school. So that's on the short term list for me. After that, it's really just knowledge. I'd love to go to a lot more conferences, and whether it's just things for the mind or actual training, hands on learning, um, try to keep myself from becoming complacent and
Yeah.
stationary with where I'm at for me.
It's kind of funny we're talking about this. I spoke to my chief about this probably 2 weeks ago. My short,
And now we're gonna have you on record, right?
of course, continue to grow in myself, but pour as much effort as I do myself as uh, to my other members, my probationary members, my rookies, my engineers. Continue to help them grow and produce good firemen, however I can.
Awesome.
Yeah, a lot of folks in our department really strongly believe in the senior guy, the senior man, and like everything. You don't go to your company officer till it's gone through the senior man, and that
Hmm.
sounds like the way y'all are kind of running things. Is like you can handle a whole lot of stuff before it needs to go to your officer, and that trains you guys and gives you a ton of experience having tough conversations and holding people accountable and training and mentoring and coaching and all that good stuff. So
Yeah, of course. I mean, nothing's always sunshine and rainbows. We've definitely, Jack and I have bickered more than I can count. Same with my company officer, and probably the same with a lot of the probationary firefighters as well. But we do our best to, at the end of the day, we still love each other. We're still with each other at least 2 days, maybe even more throughout the week. We hang out outside of here. We chit chat outside of work, and just try to keep that station and friend as close as can be, because essentially we're practically brothers. We live together all the time.
all right, well, this has been awesome. Thank you guys so much for being so willing to come and chat with us.
Yeah,
Yes,
thank y'all
of
for
course.
letting
Thank
us
you for having
on.
us.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll see you guys around the next couple days.
Yep,
Yes,
thank you.
ma'am. Thank you.
You've been listening to the HC Leadership Podcast. Leadership isn't rank or title, it's how you show up. So go look in the mirror. Are you leading with purpose today? Keep reflecting, keep leading. Until next time.